Howdy, Beefalo Bart here, and welcome. What I wanted to talk about in this particular episode of State of the Game, which I've been doing the regular State of the Game addresses, and just want to get caught up with, to let everybody know what the direction is, what the game is, what it's going to be, what it's going to be like, where we are, where we're going, that kind of stuff. So, let's delve right into it. Delve, dive, one of those things. Alright, so the game is called Center of Gravity. Center of Gravity, what is that? CoG, C-O-G, Center of Gravity. Center of Gravity is a game that is not really a game, but it's still a game. Okay, that's not confusing as hell. Center of Gravity is the center focal point that is the hub or lobby system or virtual town, city, hangout, whatever. Players will be able to log into the game, and this is what the overall of what the game is going to be. So when you log into the game, you're going to get presented with a main menu, and whenever you go into the main menu, you first start the game. You started. There won't be the multiplayer host and find. These are all part of creating the demos for the actual game modes themselves, but it will be an MMO. It will be all online, and when you first go into it, then what you're going to end up with is a lobby system where people will first go into. Now, keep in mind, this is not it. This is something I was preparing for a demonstration of what it's going to be like. So you're going to have inside the lobby, you'll have a set of vendors that you're going to be able to purchase things from. You're going to be able to get your modern staples. You're going to have a hunger system, a health system, basic health system, hunger, health, and thirst while in the lobby system. Now, the reason why I wanted to go with a hunger system and a health system is so that it's part of the hanging out. I mean, how many times have you gone into an MMO, and we're going to use World of Warcraft for an example? You go into Ironforge or Stormwind, or you go into one of those major cities, and you see people just standing around an NPC, just doing nothing. They're just standing there. They're chatting with somebody else, or what have you. Or Warframe. Good God, you go into Warframe, Plains of Eidolon. You go out there to the starting area, and there's 50 people standing around one NPC. It's a little bit on the dumb side whenever they're just standing around doing nothing. So by having a health system, a hunger system, and a thirst system, it's going to change the way players just interact with their main lobby system. So what'll happen is you'll have, we'll say over here, a restaurant. You can come sit down and be able to feed your character and buy food and drink. But what'll happen is if you're just standing here in a crowd, standing around an NPC, standing idle, and you may be just texting somebody or chatting with somebody, but your character's not moving, you're not doing anything, you're not interacting with the rest of the world, your hunger is going to start going down, your thirst is going to start going down, and whenever those health bars or hunger bars or the thirst bar goes down to 0, you're going to start taking health damage, and when your health reaches 0, your character dies. Now, it's not a huge inconvenience. You die while you're in town. And one of the things that I'm going to implement into it, and I've already been doing some testing with, and it works, is a medic bot. And what will happen is the medic bot can sense that you have just reached 0 health and have died. And it will track you no matter where you are within the map. It will come over to you and resurrect you, and then give you a booster shot. It will then mark on your permanent record, your file, to let the server will then know that you've just died because of starvation or thirst or what have you. The booster shot's going to give you 10% health, 10% hunger, 10% thirst. Well, if you ignore that again and don't buy anything to eat or don't buy any other food, and your character dies again, instead of the medic bot coming out, you will actually then be brought and teleported over to another area where your body will then be disposed of. and you'll actually have to manually respawn or something at that point. You'll be penalized for dying in public due to neglect. Just the same also, the actual lobby system, since it is a virtual world and you'll be able to walk around and interact with things and people and whatnot, if you decide that you want to be a dirty, filthy spammer, and you're spamming chat, you suck, or buy this gold, or buy this premium currency, or power leveling service, or I'll do this particular mission for you, just give me your account login. And we all know the type of spammers and scammers that spam through chat. Hell, I've watched bots sit there and level themselves up just so they can get a high enough level of chat. Well, no, I'll actually be talking about that kind of stuff on a later video. This is actually just discussing right now the state of the game of what I'm actually creating overall. But check with me on Discord. We'll work on that. The fact that you've got those spammers are going to happen. It's just going to happen. So there will be moderators inside the game 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because it is a dedicated server system. So what will happen is, say I'm a moderator and I'm walking around checking things out. Moderators while on duty will not have hunger and thirst. So they don't have to worry about that. They don't have to worry about dying while they're on duty. But while they're on duty, they're going to be dressed as a police officer so that other people can see them as a moderator. Now, if you're over here hiding in a corner and you're spamming chat, well, it doesn't matter where you are. You're going to be flagged and you're going to be susceptible for punishment. And what will happen is there will be a prison system and it will be a cage. And what will happen is the moderator will be able to hit the M key or whatever to bring up the moderator menu. And with that, they're going to be able to administer punishments directly from their menu. They can say, okay, well, this person is chat spamming. So you open it up, you click in the memo box, chat spam for power leveling. And then there'll be a series of buttons that they'll be able to push. Say, okay, this is a 10-minute fine. This is a 20-minute fine. This is a kick from server. This is a ban from server. Moderators won't be able to do bans. Moderators will be able to do kicks, and they also will be able to do punishments of time-based punishments. And what a time-based punishment means is we'll say, okay, you're going to be put in this prison cell for 10 minutes. Well, screw you. I can just log out. No, those crime times, you're going to be locked into a prison cell where you cannot get out, you cannot do anything, and that time runs concurrent. It will run. You have to physically be in the game for those 10 minutes to be able to be released. If you stay in for 5 minutes and say, screw this, I'm logging out, you log back in 10 minutes later thinking your sentence is over with. No, you still have that other 5 minutes. Your character is locked until you pay your crime. And while you're in jail, you will actually not have the ability to do voice or text chat. So your character is just locked down. You can't do anything, and you only get one character. You don't get to make 15 characters on a server. You get one shot. So that's something to look forward to. So you're having a better environment for people to hang around with. Okay, so the main porpoise, we'll get back to Flipper. Apartments. You'll actually have an apartment building, and inside the city or the town or the main area, let's say, okay, I want to go to my apartment. Well, I can actually come over here and I'll teleport to my own specific apartment, and you can actually grant people access to enter your apartment, so you and your friends can hang out at your place and just chill, and you'll have your own private chat system and you're not bugging anybody. And then whenever you decide, hey, I want to go back to the lobby, you go back out of your building, and hey, I'm back in the lobby. Cool, I can just run around and do my thing. Let's go play the arena game, the MOBA, the Siege, the whatever. So okay, we'll come over here. We go in here, and now we have a lobby system for that particular game where you're separate from everybody else in the entire planet. So you go out and you do your thing. You guys play your game. You come back and okay, you come back to the lobby. So then screw it. Let's go back to my apartment. Bang, I'm back at my apartment. Okay, let's go back to the lobby. Let's go play the sci-fi game, and then bang, we go play our sci-fi game. Come back, we're back in the lobby again. So everything revolves around this central town. Let's go play the pirate game. Great, cool, we're done. Let's go back to the lobby. And let's go hang out at my apartment and that kind of thing. So you're going to have the big city feel or the small town feel. We'll have different maps, different lobby styles, so you can actually choose what style or what server or whatever you're going to be on. But just wanted to get that part done. And like I say, with the games, arena games are some people consider to be MOBAs, things of that nature. I know a lot of people are interested in the Paragon type deal. There's actually under construction a hybrid version of well, let's talk about the sci-fi version of the MOBA. And what it is going to be a sci-fi arena, and I could actually change the project that I'm in, and I'll actually go into the sci-fi project. Now this demo is available, not in the current version. I will make this current version available after a few more tweaks again, but this is just to kind of showcase where I'm going with that particular game mode. So we'll let this do its thing and load up real quick. The sci-fi arena is just that, well, the sci-fi theme. This is just one of the themes overall for right now that's going to be into the primary. So if you want to go to a sci-fi arena or a sci-fi portion of town, you'll actually have, like say, if this is the actual lobby map, you've got restaurants, you can go to the taco joint, the pizza place, the coffee shop, whatever. But there'll be a sci-fi portion of town, so if you want to do sci-fi related stuff, you come over here to the sci-fi part of town and go from there. You want to play a naval game, you go over to the docks and hop on a ship, whether it's a pirate ship or modern ship or whatever else. You want to go do a flying game, you go over to the airport and there you can do that. You want to do a tank game, you can go hop over to the army base and go there. But this is a portion of how the map's going to be laid out. I'm actually going to go ahead and play this in standalone mode so you can kind of get an idea of where we're going with this. Now, while you're actually in, we'll say, the sci-fi version of that MOBA, it's a siege-based mode where you've got Team A, or the blue team and the red team, or whatever. There's two teams, and it'll be mixed between, 8 people, 16 people, whatever. I haven't figured out the team sizes yet, but we got a little drone floating around checking out things. He's a security drone. So let's actually head over to the sci-fi portion of town. You have the hover bike. A couple little changes to the hover bike is now whenever you're engaging your thrusters, you have a little bit of light coming out of the back of it. Still haven't fixed the sound yet, but I need to stop. Got a brake light, and then back on the thruster again. So you come over to the sci-fi portion of town, and you can launch into that. So okay, like I'm saying, is you see the little drone floating around. There's other things that's going to happen is Team A, we're on red team, we'll say, and there's going to be a center point on the map, and you're going to have to assault across, and on the different areas of the map, say if there's one center point or 2 or 3 or whatever, by holding these center objectives, then your team actually gains asset points, and with those asset points, then freaking YouTube's not wanting to refresh. So with those asset points, you're going to be able to purchase things like gun turrets or sentry drones or attack drones. Alright, you need to get the hell out of my way. We're going to go jump into the hover car. Again, work in progress. Got some temporary brake lights on it as well. So you want to build up as much as you possibly can, and to win the scenario there will be a time limit. We'll say 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or whatever, and then also a destroy them all. To overall win the game and get the most amount of points and so forth, Your team has to assault across the map and disable all of the enemy's defenses, capture their base, and then kill off the remaining number of people left in their base. So you can't just, okay, we just captured the flag, we won. And it may start off as to capture the flag, but the whole point is you need to take control of their flag or their base, and then kill everybody in the base to make sure they cannot win. Once the flag has been captured, then respawns are disabled for that team, or for all teams. So you end up with kind of a hybrid between the conventional format of a MOBA and an arena-based game and what have you. So there's a lot that'll be going on in that particular mode. I have changed the despawn time on the hover car, so it will despawn after about 5 seconds, or 10 seconds actually. So with this particular demo, if you want to download it and install it, there's no install on it, we'll play it. Once you set it up, there's a basic system of controls, which let's actually get off the hover bike, quit screwing around. WASD is your normal control for walking around. Spacebar to jump. You don't really have a high jump yet. I mean, you don't want to have the superhuman jumps anyway. And why would you? Whenever you have a jetpack, you hold the right mouse button down and you can utilize a jetpack. You can thank Senor John for this. I am John Galt. He sells this pack and some other really cool stuff to get you started with creating your own games. But we'll get into that at another time. So yeah, your left mouse button is your primary fire. You see you got some movement of the weapon whenever you fire. And your R key will reload your rounds. Still some more tweaks to be done on the characters. F key, a quick melee attack with your dagger that's behind your back. I may change it back to a sword. I don't know what I'm doing with it just yet. I've gone back and forth. You can hit the G key and it will throw a hand grenade. Then you can hit the Q key and change over to a plasma launcher, which has a pretty high arc. I need to adjust the arc a little bit on it. The NPCs that are running around, the drones and the little ruffian dudes here, you can't kill them yet. I haven't set that up just yet, but it's okay. You got Q to change weapons. You got F for a melee attack, G for grenades. Yay, cool. So, damn, we're pretty far. This asshole is still standing here. There's 2 of these buildings around town, in this town, for this demo. And when you come in, you walk over here to this console, you hit the number 1 key, and that's going to give you a hover bike. And you can see that whenever you're accelerating, your thruster comes on. Whenever you let off the accelerator, the thruster goes off. If you need to stop, you hit the down arrow, or actually the S key. It'll actually slow you down and stop you. Sorry. So that's that. And then you come over to the same one of these buildings, and you have to wait for your cycle to, or your other vehicle to despawn before you can bring out another one. The number 2 key will bring out the hover car. And that's that. If you're driving around town, or you get shot and you get killed, or if you're driving around town and oops, run off in the water, you're dead. Hit the P key and you'll actually respawn. Playing around with some things here. I've got some health pickups and ammo pickups that work. I'm working on a few other pickup systems. This table's kind of screwed up as well, but you'll be able to run over and pick up fresh ammo, and it'll just give you ammo overall. It doesn't matter for what weapon. And health is just, well, health. These are some of the other cars that will be interactable in the game. Probably going to do some working lights on the patrol car, maybe some working headlights on all the cars, things like that. But so yeah, so you get to where you're done playing with the sci-fi game. You go back to your main lobby, and you're going to have this virtual world. Now, you won't have the jetpack, you won't have weapons, you won't be able to engage in combat while you're inside the town. There's a multi-currency system. You're going to have cash, you're going to have a bank account, and you're going to have premium credits. and you can actually go over to an ATM, interact with the ATM to make a deposit or withdrawal, check your bank balances, things of that nature. Still undecided, but I think what I'll probably end up doing is setting to where the standard restaurants and stuff inside the lobby will utilize your either your debit card, quote unquote, or your actual cash. So if you need to go in here and get a couple burgers or whatever and something to drink, you go to ATM, you draw out $20, you come over here, you go shopping at the pizza place, or you go to the taco restaurant or wherever. And that's how you'll do it. So if you do cash, then you got to go to an ATM, pick up cash. Now, when you go play these other game modes, like the MOBA or a racing game or a tank game or aircraft game or whatever, you're going to actually earn cash while in these games. So as soon as you get out of the game, you're going to want to come back over to one of the ATMs around town, and you need to deposit your cash. Another thing that I want to look into doing is, and I'm just going to jetpack over here so I can get a bird's eye view of town. Or actually, I could just do this and quit the game, load the map, and do it this way. So, say you're in this area, you've been playing the sci-fi, you come over here and you decide, hey, I want to go and buy this whatever. It'll be normal stuff around town, no more stores, no more shops. But there'll be a darker side of town that if you want to buy illicit materials or other kinds of things, then you're going to have to come to that dark side of town. Now, this isn't a perfect example because this is not the actual town that's going to be used. So you come over to this darker side of town. As soon as you cross into that darker side of town, PvP becomes enabled. So you want to buy something that's blacklisted or quote unquote a illegal substance or pirate whatever, then you're going to have to come to this dark side of town and take your chances of getting mugged. The weapons I'm going to have to limit to melee only so that you know, it's a little bit more control. Now, police officers, they also can take their risk, you know, they're the moderators, by coming into this side of town. So what'll happen is if there's any crime going on and, you know, you've got somebody that's just being a troll that's camping right over here in this corner, and everybody that comes around the corner, he's just going to start attacking. Well, the troll patrol, if you can call it that, what'll end up being is the moderators or quote-unquote police force will be able to dispatch the SWAT team, which is going to be a series of NPCs that know where you are. You can't hide from the NPCs. They will come find you directly onto the map, and they will kill your character. And then whenever you respawn, then you know you have the choice. You can be a nice person, or you can continue being a douche knuckle. And if you continue being a douche knuckle, then they're going to send you the SWAT team out to kill you again. The SWAT team is not going to be killable. They will come, they will find you, they will kill you. Second offense, then you get taken to jail and you have to pay the price for that. So, any questions so far about what we're talking about for the actual game of Center of Gravity? Because I'm actually going to do a couple other streams tonight on other topics. I wanted to do another stream that was dedicated towards audio in games, and I might just do another one where I'm actually just randomly doing stuff inside the game and working on this project. So if there are no questions on Center of Gravity, then I will go ahead and get ready to close this one down. Like I said, I wanted to keep this one a short video based on the state of the game. This is not one of my usual 1-hour videos, but there's a lot to look forward to on Center of Gravity. It's going to be a lot going on. The apartments, once we start getting into that aspect of it, will actually be customizable, where you can select your own furniture and put things in your apartment however you want to. But for now, the basic portion of it is going to be the main lobby map, where you actually interact with your environment as part of the map. But in the meantime, while we're getting all of this situated, getting it set up to run on a dedicated server, and at start it's going to be an East Coast US server, but then eventually we'll start getting some other servers in different regions so that more people can get in and get a better ping. And it's going to be based on the amount of population of people. As the servers grow, then we'll be able to branch out and do more and more servers. So in the meantime, while we're getting all that set up, then we're going to keep working on these demos like this one right here, the sci-fi demo, the Western demo. Hopefully soon be able to bring out some other modes. We've got a modern combat mode. We've got a car game that's coming along pretty well. There's going to be a lot of different types of game modes that are going to go into it. I'm going to try to make it to where once the lobby system is correct and running, and it's actually up on a server where you can log in and start playing, the first games that are going to be there, we're going to start off with sci-fi, we're going to start off with Western, we're going to start off with a car game, and maybe one other mode. I want to try to start off with 5 different game modes of 5 different types of gameplay, so that when you actually get into the game, you're going to first start off in a virtual city like this, and then perfect example is if I'm over here and I want to play a sci-fi game, then I'm going to have to walk over here, go across town, and come over to the sci-fi portion of town. And for normal means, there won't be any cars in game that are operational, and the hoverbike won't be operational inside the normal portion of the game. That's going to be for other game modes. So you're going to have to walk across town. May work on some sort of city transit. Depends on how big the city is. But like I said, if you want to go play a sci-fi based game, you're going to have to come to Sci-Fi Town. If you want to play a naval game, then you're going to have to walk over here, go across town, go to the ports, hop on the ship of the type. If it's a pirate ship, you're going to go into a pirate ship based game. If it's a modern ship, then you're going to go into a modern ship based game. If you want to go play a tank versus tank game, well, you're going to have to go over here and go to the army base. And then once you go into the army base, then you'll have various different game modes you can go into based off of that, from World War II to modern, and may even do some futuristic stuff too there. But again, instead the future or the sci-fi town, which is over there, then you're going to have Old Town, then you're going to have various different portions of the city. And like this is City Hall here. If you have any problems, you have any issues, then you would come over here, go to this building, and you could sit and talk with an administrator or a moderator or what have you. So that are that. A good level of control over the population. There will be active moderators within the game. There will be an active system to deal with spammers, trolls, and that kind of stuff, because nobody wants to deal with that crap. So there will be stuff put in place to deal with them, so that whenever you log into a game, you're going to have a good experience, and that's what we want. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and kick out this video and finish up. And yes, some serious popcorn right there. There will be a movie theater, and you will be able to watch my lovely video streams directly. No, but with the movie theater, at first will just be community contributors will be able to play their videos on the screen. The financial contributors will be able to put their videos on there. There will be some billboards. I will be doing advertising, because for a game to be able to grow, it needs money. So like this billboard right here where it says hot pizza, that could actually be Castle Crypto. Or you come over here to a coffee shop, and so you get your coffee shop here, that could be Black Rifle Coffee Company. You go to Big Burgers, that could be Burger King, or it could be Five Guys, or it could be whatever. So each of the different billboards that are up will have custom billboards that will be changed based on the advertising. But also plan on having, like in the theater, there will be commercials. If you buy a TV for your house, you'll be able to put a TV on the wall or on a shelf or whatever, and there will be periodic commercials. And that's just to help generate revenue, to be able to pay for assets and pay for people to do development work on the game, to be able to actually grow the game and make it bigger and more fun every day. So again, I want to thank you guys for watching, and make sure you check in on my Discord. I'm there pretty much quite a bit. Next video is actually going to talk about some other announcements that I've got going on, but again, this video was just dedicated for state of the game, what we're doing, and where we're heading with it. And if you want to apply to be part of the team, let me know on Discord, and I can definitely use some more people to help with coding. This is all blueprints, so if all you know is blueprint, that's great. If you're really good at doing network code and multiplayer replication, that's great too. We can always use that. And if you're good at setting up a dedicated server with Unreal Engine 4, then you can definitely use that as well. As for models and assets, I don't need anything. I've got a couple people that are working on these prototype sci-fi things from City Studios, because they haven't put it out on frickin' Unreal Engine 4 yet. So we're using the Unity versions and converting them over, just because I wanted them. I needed the hover bike. So things are happening, things are growing, and check with me on Discord. I'll have more listings on what we're looking for work-wise, and I could always use the help. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I will have another stream coming up here very shortly.